How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. So, we never posted day 3 of our sibling cruise.
I know. And we need to, because
Yeah,
last day, best day.
last day, best day. And I think your viewers should know why we didn't post this video yet.
I agree. Number one, since this cruise happened, we've spent a lot of time just kind of enjoying other adventures and just living life to the fullest. I have a full-time job. You have a full-time job.
Day 3 was also our official chill day on the boat. So, it was the day that we actually got to wake up from CocoCay and just relax at the pool. I remember we woke up, we started relaxing, and then we waited for El Loco Fresh to open up. If you don't know, El Loco Fresh is the stand that's usually by the pool on Freedom of the Seas. And at breakfast, we learned that they do the little triangular hash browns.
Which, if you have never experienced Royal Caribbean's triangular hash browns, you need to. These are a lifesaver. They're like the best thing. El Loco Fresh is right there.
We did discover it by accident because we didn't know they were open for breakfast. We were waiting for lunch, but then someone came by with a breakfast burrito and they were like, no, it's open for breakfast too. And then we ran and got a burrito and the hash brown.
I will say it's not like that on all ships that have El Loco Fresh, and some of them call it Wipeout Cafe. I know on the Allure of the Seas it's still called Wipeout Cafe, or it was. They did not do breakfast there, so, or at least not on the days that I went to check. So definitely, if you see it open on the Freedom, go get a burrito, go get the hash browns. They're phenomenal. It was probably one of the best things we ate on the whole ship, but we'll get into food later. Picked up breakfast and noticed that we were basically in the port of Miami.
Yeah.
So we had made
Miami.
it.
We could see Miami from the coastline, so everyone on the ship was talking about of how close we were because you could literally just see the skyline at all times, and we were just kind of like waiting out there, either anchored or just like floating around for that entire day.
Later, because I'm nosy, I was like, ooh, I wonder what happened. So sure enough, there was a medical emergency that we had to rush back to Miami to get somebody off of the ship. It made for a very interesting sea day, being that close to port, not moving very fast.
Yeah, great shots of Miami though from the boat, at least, especially for us who had never been to Miami. It was really cool to see.
A couple of highlights from our day at sea. What would you say some of those were?
Recovering from CocoCay, so definitely sleeping in. Definitely having that ship time, like being on the ship for that whole day was really nice, and spending most of it at the pool, which we really hadn't done that much because we had the one day out to CocoCay and we spent the whole day at CocoCay. So it was a good, nice recovery day.
I mean, we had the day that was our embarkation day at the pool, and I feel like we hung out at the pool pretty immediately. Pro tip, pack your swimsuit with you in your carry-on. So as soon as you get on, you change into your swimsuit. Definitely do that. It's well worth it, especially on a 3-night cruise when you are limited if you're getting off in the port.
You also booked another cruise this day too.
I did. I chose to go ahead and book the next one on board. It's an October cruise, but this was our first time at CocoCay with this cruise, and I loved it so much that I wanted to share it with my husband. So I went ahead and ran down to the next cruise office, and I had one in mind. I had some dates in mind and got a really good price. If you book on board, you will usually get onboard credit. So for the one in October, we booked a 7-night on the Harmony of the Seas out of Miami. Because it's an interior room, we just got $50 onboard credit. You'll get onboard credit based on what room class you book. I think 600 was the max, and those are for the suites. So yeah, super excited because that one's coming up.
If you know you're going on a cruise, definitely try to book it on the cruise that you're on.
Yeah, if you can wait and you can do it on board, just having that onboard credit is nice. I say we do overall reviews.
Let's go back to food, because you cut me off talking about my little triangular hash browns, which you can also find in the Windjammer. I also try to find them on other cruise lines too. Like if I go on another cruise line, I always try to find like their hash browns.
Yeah.
Like a thing. I think we should make sure it's about mini hash browns.
Yeah. Only, you know, the true fans would get it. On the 3-night, we ate in the main dining hall all 3 nights. We ended up having a great, phenomenal set of people that we were sat down at dinner with. We had the welcome aboard menu, the Caribbean menu, and the Italian menu. So if you haven't been on Royal Caribbean in a while, they have revamped their dining hall menus where they are now themed, and they basically will cycle through the same menus. I thought the food was great.
I usually always enjoy Real Caribbean's food. There's always more than one option on the menu that I'm always like wanting to get.
I will also say the nice thing, even with these theme nights, I've noticed some trends. Like there's usually always a vegetarian option. Caesar salad ends up being an appetizer every single night. The welcome aboard night, that was casual night. It was great. I think I had fried chicken, mashed potatoes. Caribbean night, that was also pretty good. Italian night, I think, was by far of the three the best night of all of them. And don't hesitate. A lot of people get really anxious about the main dining hall of, can I only get one thing? No, they will bring you multiple. I don't care what it says. Like, they'll bring you multiple, but it may just be one at a time. If you want lasagna and chicken parm, they'll bring you one. And then when you finish it, they'll bring you another, depending on your wait staff.
As our table guests found out when they ordered, I think, 3 or 4 entrees. And they totally brought all 3 or 4 entrees.
Yeah, and multiple desserts. So don't stress there. Same with appetizers. Like if you really cannot choose between 2, get them both. And they really are not going to shy away, because there's so many people that think, oh, I can only get one of these, one of these, one of these. No, I have 100% had 2 or 3 appetizers just because the appetizers sound way better than the mains.
I know we did a CocoCay video. What was your overall review of CocoCay?
I loved it. This is probably one of my favorite ports to date. Number 1, I like that I can get off the ship and my beverage package goes with me, my internet package goes with me. I love that. So it was basically an extension of the ship in that sense. I also really liked that there was enough to do that was completely free. We did not spend a single penny on CocoCay to do anything extra. And part of that is because this was a research and development trip of, hey, let's just go check out the different areas of CocoCay for our future trips. Without spending extra money, we were totally okay. We didn't splurge on day beds because when we got there was enough chairs, and we even were sharing the island that day with Oasis of the Seas.
I love it too. And I think a lot of people are worried because there is so much online when you look up CocoCay about all the different, like the water park is an extra fee, and there are a few other things that do cost a little bit extra, but there is still so much to do on the island that is completely free. There's tons of pools, there's tons of beaches, they're all clean, they're all well put together.
Yeah.
So I think by far this is probably one of my favorite places, and I can't wait to go again.
I think also even the food, I think there's one place right when you get there that you have to pay extra for. You don't have to do that. There's a snack shack that you can get the crispy chicken sandwiches, you can get mozzarella sticks, funnel cakes. So it's not just a cheeseburger and fries that you're stuck with. You can get some options.
And the secret menu item.
So the secret menu item, some of the people you'll ask, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. Some of them won't. So you can kind of do a hack, build it yourself. And that's exactly what we did. So the secret menu item is the crispy chicken sandwich with mozzarella sticks on it with marinara sauce. So all I did was I went up to the snack shack and I said, hey, can I get 2 or 3 orders of mozzarella stick and 2 crispy chicken sandwiches and an order of fries? They did that for me, and they just put them. And then when I got back to my table, I built it, and it was phenomenal.
We split it. I'm 28, so it gave me heartburn.
When you're on South Beach on CocoCay, it's totally acceptable to pile it up and just have it.
South Beach is, I think, both your and my favorite place to go.
100%. I think it's like the best kept secret for most of the part of the day, but it's phenomenal.
I mean, like, when you go to CocoCay, there's so many different places, and I think each one has a little bit different vibe to it. So I don't feel like each beach is for everyone. Like,
absolutely.
I feel like there's certain spots, like the Chill Beach, like we went out there and we were just kind of like, you know, we're not feeling this, but I could see how it was for some people. Or like the main pool area with like the DJ and everything. Like we went there and we were like, this looks like a lot of fun. It also looks like a lot.
That was one of those things that we didn't see a whole lot of little kids. We saw a few, but it's just not, the water's not as friendly there, because the other one they can go out a little ways and it doesn't just drop off. They've dug out at South Beach for the floating bar, so it does get very, very deep.
In one specific section.
Yeah, because behind it,
Right where the bar is.
There's a sandbar. So they have dug out around the floating bar, which, like I said, that was kind of our place, and overall we enjoyed it. So love CocoCay. I'm excited to go back in October.
Yep, definitely one of my favorite ports of call for sure. Okay, so let's go back on board to Freedom of the Seas.
Yep.
I think this was my first AMP ship. I think it was your first AMP ship as well. So this one actually has Playmakers in it, which is actually our first stop.
Yeah, so if you check out our other video, we opted to eat Playmakers, which is technically specialty dining, even though it is a la carte pricing, which is super nice. So we started there. We were one of 3 or 4 tables that were there. We immediately got seated. We immediately got a drink. We had food very quickly. You can watch our first video, and I have timestamps of exactly how long it took from stepping on board to getting my French fries in front of me. So that was super nice.
I know a lot of people also go to like the Windjammer, or they go get something to eat, because once you get on board, your room is not always available right offhand, and everyone is always hungry. So that was a nice spot where no one was really. It was nice to just like get on board and just chill for like a little bit right before we went to the room. And I think we waited there until our room was ready.
They've got appetizers. They have all kinds of beers. Overall, that was great.
Yeah, also definitely a great place if you're on a cruise that has games going on, because I've been on several cruises, me and you've been on, where there's been a major sporting event happening. And Playmakers was a really good addition, and it kind of seems silly, I think, for some people to put a sports bar, but after being on so many cruises with sporting events, it's definitely needed and a great place for it.
Being a 3-day cruise, this was our shortest cruise we've ever been on. We started our cruising adventures doing 5-night cruises, progressed to 7-night cruises, and have done a 15-night cruise. I think that's, for both of us, that's our longest. What are your overall thoughts on a 3-night cruise?
3-night cruises for me are definitely a party cruise, for sure. They are a weekend getaway really quick. It's very fast-paced. It's a lot of fun. But for me, that's not my personal sweet spot for it. I prefer a 5 to 7. That's kind of like my range that I really like, because I like to spend a couple of extra days. Also, with having like the 5 to 7, you still get like some party people, but it's not crazy all the time. For the 3-night, I really felt like we were, up super late, getting up super early, just, taking part in everything. And so I felt when I got off of this ship, I was way more exhausted than I normally am when I'm on a 5 or a 7 night.
Yeah, same thing. I think it was just too fast. I don't know that I would enjoy this back to back. I mean, I know why people do it, because then you get 2 days at CocoCay and, 2 days at your ports and whatever. But I don't know that I would enjoy that based on what the 3-night looked like.
Yeah, I will say, living in Florida now, 3 nights are definitely something that a lot of locals will do here. They will look at, what the last minute cruise is, very much like the Floridian weekend getaways. It's not really a vacation, it's more like party weekend.
I love 7-night cruises. I really do. I just like having the full week. Like whatever it is that I choose to do, I have the time to do it. Whereas on this 3-night, I did not have, if I made a choice, I did not have time to recover or do anything about it. It was just like, nope, we gotta go. So we were 100 miles an hour, I felt like, the whole trip.
Which is why we haven't made a day 3 video, because this was finally our try to rest up slightly. Day 3 also was the night that Quest happened, and also Red Party also happened. So even on the 3rd night, it was still, the party was still going.
Yeah, and I'll do a different video with a breakdown of what those are and what you can expect, because those need their own explanation. So I can explain to you what those are and what those look like, because then you'll understand why it's kind of a travesty that they were put on the last.
And back to back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was the weirdest one, that we went from Quest and it was flipped into Red. I was like, whoa.
I will say that helped. Just based on the other Red parties I've been to, that fueled but again, it could have also been just that 3-night cruise vibe and what everyone was feeling in that 3-day span. So I don't know. There's a lot of factors, and I would need more scientific data.
As you said, we've been enjoying other adventures, so we do actually have a lot coming out.
2 weeks after I took this February cruise, took another one, spring break. 7 days out of Galveston on the Allure of the Seas. That was my first Oasis class ship. We'll do a breakdown of that. And then you had some things.
In May, I took my first, or any of our first, MSC cruise, and I went with a friend. I did a bachelor party cruise, so I have a video of MSC's Seaside was the ship I was on coming out. I also went to their private island, Ocean Cay, so I'm going to do a review on that one. I might also do a review on how that one compared to CocoCay, because they are very different ports for sure.
Yeah, that would be good to see. June, you actually went.
Yeah, I actually went to the wedding, so we did an all-inclusive in the Dominican Republic. It was my first all-inclusive, so I'll definitely give everyone a review of how that was.
Then I ended up actually taking a big trip over the summer, and it was my first overseas flight to Europe. So, and I got to go by myself. That took most of my month of July because right after we got home, or I got home from that, we ended up taking a trip down to see you in Florida. This October cruise is coming up in 24 days. So lots has happened since February, and it's just been trying to get through daily life, number one, and continually making these memories is key. But we do enjoy making these. And so we want to keep putting out content just to kind of give you guys some insights, because so far I have 92 combined days at sea. 55 of those right now are with Royal Caribbean. You guys have questions, and some of it I know. And then I also love getting your questions. Put them in the comments if you have them, because if I don't know the answer, then it's something I can go seek out.
Yeah, between us, we've been on several different cruise lines as well. We range from Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Disney, MSC, Princess. I'm glad we finally got this video wrapped up. I know it's been crazy because we've been filming different travel adventures. We've been working full time, so.
If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to our channel just to see all that's coming up. We've kind of put pen and paper together and plotted out everything that we need to get out, and hopefully it's some good information for you.
Well, thanks for chatting with me. I appreciate it. I'm glad we got this done. So I will see you in the next one.
Yes, and I'll see you in 24 days in Miami.